So my name is Michael Giebert. We are at Terra Farma, which is in Corbett, Oregon, and we are a kind of a small-scale, diversified mixed livestock farm. So we raise cows and goats for raw milk. We have chickens for both eggs and meat, turkeys, pigs, rabbits, guinea fowl. I think that's everything. It changes a lot, but I think that's our current roster. So we first moved here in 2001, in December 2001. We had no plan. We had no idea what we were getting into, what we were doing. We started out, we had about a half acre in vegetables, and a friend of a coworker had 7 chickens that they wanted to get rid of. You know, it was more eggs than we could eat, so we were selling a few dozen eggs a week. Then the next year we ended up with, we bought about 25 more. This batch had about 7 or 8 roosters in it. And yeah, they were really mean. I mean, you'd just walk in and they would, all of them would just come at you and just attack. We have a good friend. So he agreed to come out and take care of all those roosters. And we said that you can just have them. But so he took all of them except one and said, you guys need this. And we put it in the freezer. It's like, I don't know what to do with this. And it sat there for a little bit. But then, then we knew that, this animal gave its life for us. We need to respect it. And it was amazing. I mean, it was, we, both of us used to be meat eaters, and, didn't know chicken could taste like that. One of those moments that changed our lives. So the next year we raised our first batch of meat chickens. We did a batch of 50. So that started us on the path of basically being meat producers, and which we never would have guessed otherwise. Our farm is strictly pasture-based, and part of the reason we were vegetarian is because we love animals. Even if we do eat the animals, we can still give them the best life possible, even though they may have one bad moment, but they deserve to have the rest of their life be as good as possible. So we want our animals to have as much access to the outdoors as they want. We rotate them around the pasture, and when the grass is growing, then we actually move our fences to new grass every single day. It's good for the pasture, it's good for the animals, it's good for the soil, and in fact, part of our philosophy is to try to rebuild the soil, and we kind of reflect that in the name of our farm. I could never imagine my life would be what it is now, and some days I know I take it for granted, but it's almost like a decompression every day I come home from work. I mean, yeah, we love our animals, and it's, for example, the cows. I think the commercials are true. Happy cows make better milk, but we feel like our cows are probably some of the happiest cows out there, and so. But cows have to have babies to keep making milk, and there's no long-term future for most male cattle, and so we do raise them for beef, and we still treat them the same as our other cows. We pet them and scratch them and love on them. Sometimes it's hard when that day comes, but it's pretty instantaneous. We actually have a mobile slaughter come to the farm, so they don't ever have to get transported and loaded in a trailer to some mysterious place. It all happens right here. So they really never have any idea. But in the 1.5 or 2 years that they're here, they have the best life that they could possibly have. And even our chickens and turkeys, they don't have quite the same personality that the cows or goats might have, but we still want them to be able to roam free, or in the case of our turkeys and meat chickens, they're not necessarily going wherever they want, because especially the turkeys can fly pretty well. So they're kind of in a structure that is open on the ground, so they can still forage and scratch for bugs, eat grass, whatever they want, and then we just move their whole house every day. So as natural life as possible. I mean, we can't just let them run free, but trying to find that right balance where they're happy and we're happy, and everybody has as good a life as we can provide. Our first couple years of raising turkeys, we raised the broad-breasted type, which is like the butterball type you see in the store. They're just giant round turkeys. Our first year or two, when we really didn't know what we were doing, we raised them way too long, and they got really big. So I think our largest was a 36-pound turkey. But also those broad-breasted turkeys have been overbred so much to be so big they can't even mate naturally, and it just didn't make sense to us. So we switched over to heritage turkeys. Our first year we raised both, and we actually did a cooking comparison and cooked them side by side and had a taste test where people didn't know which one was which, and it was obvious which one was the broad-breasted and which one was the heritage, because the flavor was better, the texture was better. Yeah, I mean, it's not my most enjoyable day, when we process the turkeys or the chickens. But it might sound a little harsh, but I have to just basically almost disassociate myself from what I'm doing, and just try not to think about it, because I don't know if I'd be able to do it if I really wasn't able to do that. And I think that has been another interesting aspect of what we do, is educating people on the real cost of food and what it takes to raise something that tastes better and an animal that has a better life. It's a lot more labor, and that comes at a cost. So, and people have realized that, and more and more are willing to pay it. So basically what happens on that day is we go up before sunrise, and when they're still sort of almost asleep or not very active, and then we can just pick them up, and then we put them in crates that we take down, and then basically the process is when it's ready for a bird's time, open the crate, grab both of its legs so it's not able to jerk around, and try to keep its wings tucked in so it can stay calm, and then get them upside down as soon as possible, because when turkeys and chickens are inverted and their head is down, they kind of almost like go to sleep, and they're almost in a trance. And the one thing I was thinking, I recently cut my finger really bad, and I realized that it didn't hurt for about 7 or 8 seconds. So I was like, I'm hoping that's the same thing that happens with them, that they don't even feel it, and then it just goes black for them. Probably, most people have a hard time sourcing really good quality meat, and we feel like we have an almost unlimited supply of it, and it's just meaningful to us because we know how these animals were raised and the effort we put into them. It just seems to make everything taste better, and just knowing the quality of it is, I really can't even put it into words how much it means to us.